Thank you for tuning into Bond Court. I want to continue posting Bond Court every night on YouTube, but the viewership and engagement on my channel has fallen off a cliff. I would greatly appreciate your help by hitting the like button and leaving a comment on my videos. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Do I have an interpreter online? Spanish interpreter online? Santiago 22MM6002AO. I'll appoint a public defender. Stay the bond. No contact. No weapons. Are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System. From a touch-tone telephone, you may dial an extension at any time. For a directory of extensions,
I understand there are co-defendants, but because of the transient lack of housing situation, I'm satisfied with what I've ordered.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Ricardo Morales, Spanish interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Hi, this is Judge Bigney in BRC1. Can you do a sound check on my headsets?
Certainly, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm there is connection.
Is your name Adoro Ortega Santiago?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Santiago, you were arrested for open container. It is a time-served offer with a conviction. You would be released today. Would you like to accept that?
I'm sorry?
If you would like to say that you're guilty, I could release you today. You would be convicted, and I'd give you 1 year to pay course costs.
I plead guilty. Yes, sorry.
Did anybody force you to say guilty?
No.
Do you understand if you were on probation when you committed this crime, your probation would be violated?
Yeah, I understand. I've never been.
And if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by entering a plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you need to talk to a lawyer, yes or no?
I don't think so. If I plead guilty, I don't think so.
All right, thank you. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to time served. I'll give you 1 year to pay your court costs. Your case is over. Thank you, Mr. Ortega. And Mr. Interpreter,
Thank you.
that was 22MO995AO.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, please tell me what your name is. Show me.
Eric Calipsoto.
Sir, you were arrested for driving under the influence. Do you want a lawyer to help you with this case?
Well, is that necessary?
If you don't have any legal training or know things about the law, it might be very helpful, especially since we speak in English in court. Would you like one, yes or no?
No.
Can you afford a bond of $500?
Yes, I can pay it off.
You have to come back to your next court date. It will be on the paperwork that you receive when you leave jail. Do you understand that?
Okay, I understand.
And do you understand that it's going to be written in English? Do you have somebody who can read the paperwork and translate it to you?
Yes.
Okay, I'll enter a plea of not guilty, find he does not qualify for the public defender, and your bond is $500. You're not to possess, use, or consume any alcohol or any illegal drugs. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And Mr. Interpreter, that was 22 CT 4978AW. Are you Joshua Perez Acosta? All right, give me one moment, Mr. Interpreter. On 2021 CF 1388AO, he has 3 failures to appear. He'll remain at no bond. I'll appoint the public defender in case 22 MM213AE. If I find probable cause, I'll stay those bonds. Defense, are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. The next person is Francisco Vega Flores. Are you Mr. Vega Flores?
Yes.
Sir, would you like a lawyer to help you with your criminal charges?
See?
Yes.
I'll appoint them to represent you. You were arrested for use of an anti-shoplifting device. In order to your bond is $2,000, and you must appear for all future court dates. You do have a lawyer. You're also not allowed to go back to the store Macy's. Thank you. Amir Garcia is next.
My apologies, Your Honor. Can the interpreter ask for these, for Francisco Vega's, case number?
Yes, I apologize. 22 CF 10218AO. Is this Amir Garcia? Does he need an interpreter? No. Do I have any more interpreter cases? Do I have any more interpreter cases? Okay, Mr. Interpreter, have a great weekend. I'll disconnect now.
You as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia, you were arrested for trespass on property, the Royal Inn. If you would like to resolve your case today, it's a time-served offer, no return. You'd have to pay court costs within 1 year. Would you like to accept that, Mr. Garcia? Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
No.
All right, if I ask you any questions and you change your mind and want a lawyer, let me know. How do you plead to the crime of trespass on property? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
No contest.
Did you read the plea form that the gentleman over there gave you? Did you sign it?
Yes.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by pleading today, your probation would be violated?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation by pleading today? If you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated under the laws of the state, do you understand you will be civilly committed? All right, and have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on? Okay, I'll go ahead and accept your plea. I will this is an adjudication offer. He does have a, actually, I'll withhold. I'll withhold credit time served, no return to the scene of the crime. I'll give you 1 year to pay the court cost. So don't go back to the Royal Inn. Thank you. The next person is Christopher Lozada.
Did I put? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Did I put withhold on the plea form?
You did, but he only had arrests, not convictions.
It was a withhold offer from me.
Christopher Lozada, sir, you were arrested in case 22 MM3168 for an offense of criminal mischief. I'm going to stay the bond because of your criminal history at $1,500, no contact with the victim, no return to the scene of the crime. Sir, do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. Probable cause has been found.
Your Honor, there was an offer from the state to resolve, and I did speak with Mr. Lozada before court. Is the court inclined to accept that plea?
Because of the restitution issue, I'm going to decline to do a plea right now.
There was a restitution as part of the plea agreement, Your Honor.
Yeah, I've read the affidavit. I'm not prepared to take a plea on it today. Thank you.
What was the bond amount again, Your Honor?
$1,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you afford that?
No, not at the moment.
All right. How long have you lived in Florida?
Since 2018.
Okay. Do you have a job?
I collect that supplemental security income.
Do you have a mailing address?
My mother is my guardian. I'm home. I also stay at the state hospital.
You stay at the state hospital?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't get mail. Do you have a general delivery address? at the post office?
Well, she was in the country, Northern Maine, so I guess I could call her. So
Okay, your attorney's going to talk to you about how to get notice. I'll modify and reduce your bond to $1,000. Thank you. Antonio Atkins is next. Are you Mr. Atkins?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your name?
Antonio Atkins.
22 CF 10205. Do you need a lawyer, sir?
Huh?
Do you want a lawyer?
I just want to go home today.
Okay, my first question for you, and we'll talk about you going home in a moment, is do you want a lawyer, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint one. I find probable cause and you were arrested for possession of MDMA and petty theft. Because of your history, I'm going to stay the bonds. Your bond is $1,250, no return to the Walgreens. Thank you.
I gotta get a bond.
Thank you.
Why can't you get on straight release?
I'll deny that request. James Bloodworth. Mr. Bloodworth, do you already have a public defender, PD's office, do you know? Okay, you have a public defender in case 21 CF 14662AO. You missed your court date, so your bond in that case is no bond. You also have a new charge in case 22 CF 8372AO. Do you want a public defender for that case?
What case is that? And yes, I would.
It's alleged that you failed to report back on May 4th of 2022. Do you want a public defender? They can handle both cases together.
What you mean I failed to report?
Your name is James Otto Bloodworth, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to figure out what did I fail to report. They let me go.
You have sex offender violation reporting requirements. Every time you move, you have to let them know where you're living. It's alleged that you did not do that. So in case ending in 8372, I'm setting your bond at $3,500.
But I never moved nowhere. I'm still.
Sir, I'm just relying on the warrant. I also am going to remind you that once you do bond or leave jail, you have 2 business days to comply with all reporting requirements. Would you like a lawyer, yes or no?
Now, what's the case that I have? Okay, you said I had 2 cases. Do I still have 2 cases or is it 1 case?
Sir, do you want a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll appoint them. I'll give you a moment to confer with him. All right, thank you, everybody. The next case I'm addressing is Billy Joe Quintana Vega. Billy Joe Quintana Vega. If you're not Mr. Vega, you'll need to step aside. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Quintana Vega? He's nodding his head. 22 CF 8536. Sir, you're here for a charge of aggravated assault with a weapon and petty theft. It was alleged to have occurred on or about June 28th. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? Excuse me, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and appoint one. I'm going to stay the bonds. Your total bond is $2,750. You're to have no contact with the victim, nor are you to return to the scene of the crime. Thank you, Mr. Quintana Vega. After that, I have Ramillo Eugene Alexander. All right, I'll appoint a public defender in his new matters in 22 MM 211AE. In those matters, I'll go ahead and find probable cause for resisting officer without violence, criminal mischief, and trespass. I'll go ahead and stay those bonds. He's also already out on bond on cases 22 CF 8035AO. I know nothing has been filed, but he was just released, so I'm going to go ahead and revoke his release, set bond at $2,000 on each count. In case
3 counts, correct?
yes, there's 3, so 6,000. In case number 2022 CF 7095AO, same situation. I'm revoking his release, setting bond at $2,000 on each count. And on the new case, no return to the scene of the crime. Are you waiving defense counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
The next person is Jamel Broomfield. Case What? All right, case number 22 MM 6005 and 6006. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the services of the public defender, and I'll go ahead and stay those bonds.
We'll waive, Your Honor.
Rick Caesar. Are you Mr. Caesar?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Caesar, let me know if you need a lawyer. You were arrested for a charge of battery. I do find that there's probable cause. Your bond is $500. You're to have no contact with the victim, and you're not to possess any weapons. Mr. Caesar, do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Considering you give me a fair enough deal today,
I'm not going to give you a deal today. Would you like a lawyer?
yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint one. Thank you, Mr. Caesar.
Okay.
No contact, no weapons. James Cutliff. Are you Mr. Cutliff?
Yes.
Mr. Cutliff, you're here for open carry of a weapon and improper exhibition of a firearm or dangerous weapon. Do you need a public defender, sir?
No.
Do you plan to represent yourself or hire your own attorney?
Yes.
Which one? Represent yourself or hire your own attorney?
Represent myself.
All right. Sir, do you have any legal training?
No.
What's the highest grade that you finished in school?
Diploma.
9th grade?
Second diploma. Oh, crap.
What grade?
12th grade.
Okay. And can you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Sir, if you were to pick a jury in this case, how many jurors would sit on your case? He can't give you that answer. You're saying,
I don't know.
are you sure you don't want an attorney to help you?
Yes.
You do want one?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I can't force you to have one. I find probable cause. I'm going to I'll reduce your bond on count 1 to $100. Count 2, I'll stay the bond. Your bond is $600. You're not to return to the West Oaks Mall. You're not to have any firearms or ammunition or any weapons. That'll conclude your first appearance. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Higo Felix Andrade. After that, I have Keith Hicks. Are you Mr. Hicks? Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Hicks. You're here for a charge of trespass on property, specifically the airport. If you would like to resolve this case today, the offer is a 5-day jail offer, credit for 2 days time served, no return to the airport. Would you like to accept that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case? You can do it with or without a lawyer. There is a $50 charge to have a lawyer. Do you want one?
All right, just go ahead.
Okay, if you change your mind, let me know. Mr. Hicks, how do you plead to the charge of trespass on property? Guilty, no contest, or not guilty?
Guilty.
Do you understand what guilty means?
Yes.
Did anybody force you to say guilty? No. Have you consumed any drugs, alcohol, or medicine that's affecting your ability to understand what's going on right now? And sir, do you understand if you were on probation at the time you committed this crime, by playing today, your probation would be violated? If you're not a United States citizen, you will be subject to deportation. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And if you have a criminal history of doing anything sexually violent or anything sexually motivated, under the laws of the state, you would be civilly committed. Do you understand that too? Can somebody give me an assist and have him sign a plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, counsel.
Of course, Your Honor.
Mr. Hicks, while you were in back, did you read a plea form?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay, if you've read it and you agree to the terms, please sign it.
I have the terms of the offer again, Your Honor, so I can jot it down at the top. Unless,
Adjudication 5 days. Credit for 2. 1, I'm sorry.
I approach.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Hicks, I'll proceed to sentencing. You're being convicted. You're sentenced to 5 days. You have credit for 1 day. You cannot return to the Orlando airport or any of its associate locations. You need to abide by all trespass orders. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, but the only way I can get to work is through that airport.
Where do you work?
Lee Vista.
So you have to physically go through the airport?
Physically catch the bus at the airport.
Okay, you'll need to find another bus stop.
there is no other alternative to my route. I've been coming through that airport almost 4 years to this month.
I'll put it this way. If they have a trespass warning against you, you need to abide by it. Otherwise, you're going to need to take the long way. I apologize for the inconvenience. Pay your court cost within 1 year. Thank you. Trishawn Littles. All right, on Mr. Little's case, he has a charge of resisting officer without violence, criminal mischief, and trespass. I'll appoint the public defender. I find probable cause. In that case, I'll stay all the bonds, no return, and no contact with the co-defendant. In cases 22 CF 7097AO and 2022 CF 8075AO, I am going to revoke his release. I'm going to set each bond at $1,500 per count. No contact with co-defendant.
Defense waives, Your Honor.
What?
Defense waives.
Thank you.
On both of the add-on bonds, Your Honor?
Yes, the same co-defendant in all three of these.
No, for the bond amounts on the,
Yes, 1,500 per count. No, 1,500. Gerald Timmons is next. Case number 2022 MO 996AO. I'll appoint a public defender. I do find there's probable cause. I'll reduce the bond to $100. No return.
Defense waives.
Thank you. After that, I have Carlos Alvarado. Mr. Alvarado, good afternoon. You're here in case number 2022 CF 10212 for burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
I could, yeah.
I'll go ahead and appoint the public defender. On count one, I'll stay the bond. On count two, I'll modify to $150. You're to have no contact with any victims or witnesses, and you cannot go back to the scene of the crime. I'll appoint a lawyer. Probable cause has been found. Brent Balblas is next. All right, in his case, does he have a public defender in the MM case? For the VOP? If not, it's a VOP, so he failed to appear. Under these circumstances, I'll appoint a public defender in both the VOP, if he doesn't have one, and the new law violation. I find probable cause for grand theft. In that matter, I'll go ahead and stay the bond at $2,000. On the petty theft charge, he'll remain at no bond. Are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we'll, no, yes, no return on the grand theft. Yasir Barati. I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender. I find probable cause. He is entitled to a monetary bond on count one. Let's roll this case till tomorrow, okay? So we can set his bond and figure out if he needs mental health. It's an F2.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection to that?
None from defense.
Nothing from the state.
All right. Based on the allegations, I have concerns about mental health. So after the mental health release goes, we'll see him.
Understood, Your Honor.
Carlos Benjamin Serrano. You bonded? Okay. Jeremiah Bennett. Mr. Bennett, you're already out on bond in case 22 CF 9414AO for a charge of driving with license suspended, revoked as a habitual traffic offender. You're here for a new law violation in case 22 CF 10215AO for driving with license suspended or revoked as a habitual traffic offender and attached tag not assigned. Sir, do you need a lawyer to help you with your second case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Actually, do you want a lawyer in both cases?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. Sir, I'm revoking your release in case ending in 9414.
Your Honor?
Hold on.
Do you want to talk to your attorney first?
A moment to confer, Your Honor.
Your Honor, with regard to the out on bond, the state would have no objection to a revoke and double.
He just needs to pay. You just keep ignoring your court dates and not paying fines. So I'm not inclined to give him monetary. If I court order PTR, will he qualify? And a driving with license suspended?
On his out on bond, Your Honor?
Yeah. Are they not doing that?
For our admin order, we can't do that.
Even- I know it's not you. All right, here's what I'm going to do. On the new law violations, I'm putting him on straight pretrial release. You need to check in once a month. On case number 2022 CF 9414AO, I'm going to set a new bond, revoke your original bond at $3,000. Sir, you are not to drive until you get a valid license, and you're not to commit any new law offenses. Don't get behind the wheel, not even to sit and relax. All right, thank you. After that, I have Erin Brassfield.
She's medical, Your Honor.
All right, on her failure to appear, I think that case is with Judge Allen. She has a bond on that prostitution. We'll stay that bond at $1,000, and the possession of fentanyl, I'll stay that bond at $1,000. Appoint a public defender. Are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And I do find probable cause on the new law. After that, I have Chase Davis. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're here in case number 2022 CF 10206 in an out on bond case for possession of fentanyl. Do you need a public defender to help you with these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. I find probable cause for grand theft. Your bond is stayed at $2,500. State any input. So you still haven't made a charging decision, your office?
No, Your Honor, defendant was arrested June 1st. As the court noted, formal charges have not been filed yet.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to go ahead and take no action based on the time. All right, thank you. Marcus Demps is next. Mr. Demps, you're here in, do you need a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint them to represent you in your new offenses.
Your Honor,
In case, yes,
I believe you had a question. May I have a moment to confer?
sure.
Thank you.
In the meantime, what state's position in 22 CF 6897? State has not made a decision. He bonded the end of July.
That is correct, Your Honor. However, these are almost identical charges. I would ask defendant the bond be revoked and he be held no bond. That's also based on the amount of convictions, 26 felonies, 11 misdemeanors, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we would just request to revoke a double if you're inclined to take action.
All right. In case 2022 CF 10226, you were arrested for 2 counts, 1 possession of cocaine and 1 possession of MDMA. I find probable cause, I'll stay that bond. In case number 2020 MO 997AO, you were arrested for urinating or defecating in public. In that case, I'll modify that bond, reducing it to $100. In case number 2022 CF 6897, you're out on a charge of possession of cocaine with intent to sell. Sir, you're not supposed to commit any new law violations, so in that case, I'm going to revoke your release and hold you at no bond. Thank you, Mr. Demps. After that, I have Herbert Fields. Good afternoon, Mr. Fields. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes.
I'll appoint a public defender in case number 2022 CF 10066AO. Probable cause has been found for charges of homicide, murder while engaged in robbery, count 2, robbery, and conspiracy to commit robbery. State, do you want to be heard as far as release and bond on count 1?
Yes, Your Honor, that is a capital offense. State asked defendant be held no bond.
And what says defense?
No argument at the time, but Mr. Fields is entitled to a Harther hearing with his attorney downtown.
So noted. Sir, I'm going to continue to hold you at at no bond on count 1, you're to have no contact with any of the co-defendants or co-conspirators. On counts 2 and 3, I'll stay the bond, so you're at no bond plus 5,000. Thank you.
I believe he's entitled to a bond on the robbery charge. It's a robbery.
He has a $2,500 bond. I
see
stayed
that.
him, so 2,500 plus 2,500 is 5,000.
Understood, Your Honor.
Thank you. After that is Genesis Flag Easterling. Your name, please.
Genesis Flag Easterling.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your charges? You want a lawyer, yes or no?
Yes,
How often are you paid at your job?
weekly.
Weekly?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your take-home pay after taxes and withholdings?
I get about 5,000
Every
a
week?
month.
Oh, a month, okay. And how many people do you support, adults or children?
I support a household of 4.
4? Does she qualify with revocations?
I'd like to also state that I stay in Ohio.
Yeah, that's another consideration. With 3, at 220? All right, you make too much money to qualify for the services of the public defender, ma'am. You'll need to hire your own attorney. If your circumstances change, we'll go ahead and modify that application. Ma'am, you're here for a charge of battering a law enforcement officer. Your bond in that case is $5,000. You're also here for resisting officer with violence, resisting officer without violence. On the resisting officer with violence, I'll modify your bond to $150. On count 3, resisting officer without violence, I'll reduce that to $100. And criminal mischief, your bond is going to be $150. You're to have, and you need to abide by all trespass orders. Thank you, Ms. Easterling. What's your name, sir?
Haynes, Christopher.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to review the affidavit, arrest affidavit, or,
This was a state, I think it was a refile.
I figured that because it was a BO case.
Mhm.
So I read the information, but there weren't facts in there to,
The state do have one for him, because it was a capias, so I don't have it either.
One moment, Your Honor.
But if you looked at the underlying case,
there was, in the AO case, I think there was a long arrest affidavit, but I wanted to make sure that that was in his file.
Mr. Haynes, do you want a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and find that you qualify, and I'll appoint them. (22 CF 5748B).
I'm still looking, Your Honor. Your Honor, I was able to find the affidavit. It's from August 2nd of 2021. It's a home invasion. And
Why don't you share that with defense counsel? Do you mind if he reads over your shoulder?
if I can take a look at it first, Your Honor, I don't know if there's any information that needs to be redacted.
What case number do you have?
I was able to find it in our system, Your Honor, so I don't know if it has subsequently changed.
What case number?
I have the agency case number, but when I looked at it in our system, it was 22 CF 5748.
AO?
BO. Let me make sure of that. Yes, BO, Your Honor. Your Honor, have you been able to review it?
I reviewed the co-defendant one.
Okay. Was it 8 pages?
Strike that. I don't have an affidavit on it.
Your Honor, there are various witnesses listed in this affidavit.
How about I do this? I'll recall this case, have somebody from your office print it, go 2 copies, and go ahead and redact any names of any witnesses. Is there somebody at your office who can do that?
Not at this time, Your Honor, but if you roll it to the end of the case, I can get
I'll
that
do
done.
that. Like,
Do you need a copy as well?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and pass on Mr. Haynes. Deborah Holt. 2022 CF 10053, I find probable cause for possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the services of the public defender. Counsel, are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next case is 2022 CF 10132, burglary of a structure. What's your name?
Reginald House.
Good afternoon, Mr. Housey. Do you need a lawyer to help you with your case?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. Sir, in case 22 CF 10132, you have add-on charges for 2 counts of burglary of a structure and 1 count of grand theft 3rd degree. You're to have no return to the location of the offense. I'll stay the bond. Your total bond is $3,500, sir. Your attorney will assist you. After that, I have Joseph Marsh. Are you Mr. Marsh? Mr. Marsh, do you already have a lawyer in the cases where you missed court? Do you need a public, you do, he does? My clerk is telling me you do have a public defender. Okay, so they'll continue to help you. You missed your court date on June 21st for possession of methamphetamines and 2 counts of possession of an unauthorized driver's license. You do have a bond. Your bond is $1,500 total.
A moment to confer, Your Honor.
What?
A moment to confer.
What? Sure.
I have a moment.
Sir, what's your name?
My name is Jason Neal.
Hold on one moment. What happened to Jorge Murillo Madrid? All right, thank you. Sorry for the wait, Mr. Neal. Mr. Neal, you're here in case number 2022 CF 10059. You were arrested for 1 count of battery with 2 priors. This is a felony offense. Your bond is $500. I'm ordering no contact with the victim and no return to the location of the incident. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case?
Yeah,
Yes, I confirmed with you already. Why you gotta
I
do
wasn't
this?
your attorney.
Hey, it's not his, I have to still ask as a formality. I have to make the decision on whether or not to appoint. Sometimes people change their mind.
Okay, I
But
don't-
please don't talk to him that way. That's really rude considering his office is going to be helping you.
Your Honor,
We've concluded his hearing, yes?
would the court consider an ROR as to Mr. Neal's unemployment? He wouldn't be able to afford a bond to get released from
Counsel,
jail
he has
today?
numbers, he has close to 20 convictions. I'm denying that request. Dakota Pilgrim?
He refused, Your Honor.
On Pilgrim, case number 2022 CF 5101AO. That's his out on bond case. I find probable cause in the new offenses, so I'm revoking his bond and holding him at no bond on all counts. In case number 2022 CF 10231AO, burglary to an unoccupied structure, trespass, and petty theft, I'll stay all those bonds. I find probable cause. Are you waiving?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, counsel.
No return, Your Honor?
Pardon?
No return to the construction site?
He's gonna be in jail for a while, so I'm satisfied with the sign that the construction site is required to have. Case number 2022 CF 10219AO, Emerson Ponce Rebolina. All right, thank you. Robert Redente, sorry for the wait, sir. Sir, do you need a public defender to help you with your possession of methamphetamine charge? I'll go ahead and appoint them to help you with your case. I'm going to state, can you afford a bond of $2,000?
It's hard right now.
All right, I'm going to modify your bond to $1,500. You need to appear for all future court dates and stay in touch with your attorney. Mr. Redente, it's your responsibility to keep your address updated. If the mail bounces back and you miss your court date, you could be held at no bond, especially coming from somewhere else. That could be very problematic. Thank you, sir. Speak with your attorney. Carlos Rivera, sorry about that. Did Rivera bond? I'm sorry, what was the name? Carlos Rivera, booking number 22020635.
They bonded.
What?
They bonded.
Okay, thank you. Anthony Roberson?
Ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Roberson.
No, Your Honor.
Would you like a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll start with the new case, 2022 CF 9029AO. You're here because it's alleged that you failed to report as a sex offender on or about July 18th. You are entitled to a bond on that case. That bond is $3,500.
Scoot.
Do you want to speak with your attorney first?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
He's also out on bond on a number of other cases. July 18th. Defense, anything else?
I believe he needs a longer, more detailed conversation with his attorney. I'm trying to listen to the context of these cases.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and take action. In case 2020 CF 1612AO, you were out on bond on February 24th of 2020. You have an upcoming court date for for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession of cocaine. In that case, I'm going to revoke your bond and hold you at none. In case number 2021 CF 12448AO, you have two counts of failure to register as a sex offender and failure to register with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Your Honor.
On that case, you bonded on March 23rd. Yes,
Your
counsel.
Honor. Our client's alleging that there was a null pros on 12448 and 7832.
So why don't we talk about that when I get to that case?
Yes, Your Honor.
On that case, because of your release date and the time of the alleged incident, I'm going to revoke your release, but I will give you a new bond. I'm going to set each bond at $2,500.
Your Honor, they only filed on one count.
Okay, so that's going to be 2,500, just the one count.
Go ahead.
On case number 2022 CF 7832AO. He bonded on 7/14 for failure to report as a sex offender. That's very close to the date alleged, so I'll take no action on that. Yes.
Excuse me, Your Honor. This is a clerical error in the computer. I've never been sentenced nor court ordered to abide by any such guidelines. I've been going to court in front of the Honorable Tanya Davis Wilson, and these cases have been no process and dismissed. I went to Internal Affairs and I filed an investigative report with these detectives. And they, in return, in retaliation, went and put out another arrest warrant. I'm in front of the judge. I have never been sentenced nor court ordered. The state can pull up in the computer and they can see this. I've been on bond for these times, and these cases have been open in front of the Honorable Tanya Davis Wilson. I haven't missed a court date. I haven't committed any crimes for them to go even get these warrants. I don't know. They're making false statements and omissions to judges other than the judge we're in front of to get these warrants signed, and they're being rubber stamped. There is no independent investigation that's being carried out by these whoever signed these warrants. So all of this is fictitious. And to have my bonds revoked from 2020, what I'm in front of the Honorable Tanya Davis Wilson for, I think that's unfair. I have work and responsibilities. I'm not committing crimes.
You know, okay, I heard what you said, and you're right. You do have your right to trial, absolutely. And the state is going to have to prove these accusations. Thank you. Your case is over. We'll conclude it. You can be removed from the courtroom.
Excuse me, Your Honor. May I have your name, please?
It's Bigney. It's going to be on your paperwork.
Ms.
Thank you,
Bigney.
sir. Smith. Give me a second. Sir, are you Byron Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
You're here in case number 2022 CF 10220AO. You were arrested for new charges for possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, as well as possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. Sir, would you like a public defender to help you with your charges?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint them. Sir,
Honor.
I'm going to stay those bonds.
As to PC, Your Honor, I believe the affidavit even says that Mr. Smith did have a medical marijuana card.
But
As
he's
to
not
the-
allowed to distribute.
I understood, Your Honor, but the ruffle of cash as well as the possession, I don't believe there's PC for the possession with the medical marijuana card in context, and then the intent to sell and deliver. Finding cash on their person, I don't believe rises to the level of probable cause for an arrest on intent to sell and deliver. It was only
What says the state?
2 bags.
Your Honor, as is also noted, because of the way that it was packaged, it does not qualify for the medical marijuana. And that in conjunction with the way that it was packaged and the amount of money, the way that was bundled, I believe does rise, Your Honor.
Give me a moment. So we're not so.
Oops.
I'm going to overrule your objection on count 1. I am standing with finding probable cause on that. On count 2, I still find probable cause, but I'll ROR him on count 2, stay the bond on count 1 at $1,000. The other issue is he's already out on bond in case 2022 CF 2977. He has a pretrial conference coming up in the next month and a half or so. What says the state?
Your Honor, I have it that he has trial next week. So because it's a possession of cocaine, oxy, and a controlled substance, I would ask that it be revoked. He be held no bond.
What says defense?
Did the state file on all those charges?
I can confirm that.
Yes. If they have trial, they filed.
But on all those charges, or was it just one possession charge?
I'll double check, but I believe the state is correct. No, state, he has, I'm showing it's a pretrial coming up, still in November, but.
Okay. Defense is correct. We only filed on the possession of cocaine, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll revoke his release and hold him at no bond on the possession of cocaine. Thank you. All right, the next person is Brandon Sumamaki.
Sumamaki, yes, Your Honor.
Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
Yes, I do.
I'll go ahead and appoint the services of the public defender in case number 2022 CF 9071AO. Probable cause has been found. You don't have a, how long have you lived in Orlando?
Since March.
I'm going to stay your bond at $1,500. You're not to possess or use any illegal drugs or have any drug paraphernalia. The PD's office will help you with your case. Thanks. After that, I have Colin Taylor. Are you Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, good afternoon. Do you need a public defender to help you with your criminal charges?
I have a private lawyer, but
What?
I have a private lawyer,
Who's your lawyer?
Aaron Berry from the law office of Coe Corner.
Okay, well, let her know that you're in jail. Because in case 22 CF 5114, you were out on bond. It looks like, let me pull that up. I'm going to take no action on that case because of the dates. But you have 5 new cases. I'll go through them case by case. 22 CF 10237AO. You have 1 count of possession and sale and delivery of methamphetamine, count 2, possession of methamphetamine, and count 3, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. That was alleged to have occurred on or about February 3rd of 2022. In that case, your bond total is $4,000. I'll stay those bonds. In case number 2022, CF 10239AO, your total bond is also $4,000. I'm going to stay all those bonds. It's alleged that on or about December 16th of 21, that you committed an offense of sale or delivery of methamphetamine, count 2, possession of methamphetamine, and count 3, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. In case 2022 CF 10232AO, you have a total bond of $4,000. It's alleged that on or about November 9th of 2021, you committed count 1, offense of sale or delivery of fentanyl, count 2, possession of fentanyl, and count 3, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. All bonds are stayed. In case number 2022 CF 10235AO, it's alleged that on or about December 10th of 21, you committed 1 count of sale or delivery of meth, count 2, possession of methamphetamine, and 3, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Those bonds are stayed. Your total bond in that case is $4,000. And finally, in case number 2022 CF 10238AO, it's alleged that on or about November 17th, you committed offense of possession of sale or delivery of methamphetamine, count 2, possession of methamphetamine, and count 3, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. All bonds are stayed. Your total bond in that matter is $4,000. Please let Ms. Berry know your current situation.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Keon Turner's next. Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Turner? Mr. Turner, do you want a lawyer to help you with your case from the Public Defender's Office? No? Do you plan to represent yourself? What's the highest grade that you finished in school? Thank you.
High school.
And if this case went to, do you know the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony?
Not really.
Are you sure you don't want a lawyer to help you? Because you are in jail right now. I will we'll talk about bond in a moment, but I want to make sure you're best prepared to defend yourself, and sometimes that's with a lawyer. Are you sure you don't want a lawyer to help you?
Yeah.
You do want one? Okay, I'll appoint a public defender. I find probable cause in 2022 CF 10222 for grand theft of a firearm. In this case, your bond is going to be $1,000. I'm ordering that you have no contact with your mom, the victim of this case. You must maintain a separate residence. Hold on. You must maintain a separate residence. If you want to go back to get some belongings, call the police department, coordinate a time where they can meet you so you can pack some belongings. After that, you cannot return. And you're not allowed to have any weapons. If you have any, they need to be surrendered within 4 hours of your release. But during the course of this, you cannot talk to your mom or live with your mom, okay? Thank you. Lisa Vanman? You're here for in case number 2022 CF 9662. Do you want a lawyer to help you with your case? Yes. You're here for a charge of grand theft that was alleged to have occurred back on August 11th. Your bond in this case is $5,000.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Would the court be inclined to inquire if she would qualify for pretrial release? To her history, especially.
She has several out-of-count, well, go ahead and why don't you proffer what her ties to the community? Defense counsel?
I'm sorry, may I have a moment to confirm?
Yeah. Yeah, proffer, get some testimony. I need something besides the ask, since she wasn't pre-qualified.
She says she stays with her mother, Your Honor, and receives mail at this address. If I can fill out a change of address form for the court so that she can receive any correspondence with from.
Yeah, go ahead and write that down and we'll see.
Your Honor, can you do bond or PTR? Because at her interview, she stated that she was transient and she's been homeless for the past week.
What says this defense? I'll give you a moment to confer with her. The allegations are she stole a guest's purse at a hotel.
Would the court like the address, Your Honor? Is it on record or?
Counsel, that's you. You tell me what you want and present it to me.
Your Honor, if she is receiving mail at her mother's house that's in Orlando, Florida, I believe she could have proper correspondence with the court, and she is also getting a public defender form with our address and contact information, so she'd stay in contact with us about any future court dates. She's assured me that she would follow up with us.
Can I see the change of address form?
Oh, yes. May I approach the clerk, Your Honor?
Yes. Actually, I'll take it. Can I see it again? Is that Pershing? Okay. Okay, I'll let you write that down. Let me check this. You want me to write it correctly? How long have you lived in, when's the last time you lived with your mom, like physically lived there?
I stay with her, I tend to, from time to time, I tend to travel to a lot of places to kind of give her a break, I guess, because I'm an adult. I don't control what to do. I have my instance and everything's been going there for years. I've been living in that address for years now.
If you can verify that she's gonna be living there, I'll put her on pretrial release.
That's what I said. Can you do bond or PTR, Your Honor?
Okay, I'm gonna modify the bond on this case to, $1,000 or pretrial release. No return to the scene of the crime. And stay in touch with your
Your Honor.
attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May I approach the clerk with, or would the
Yes.
court like to see the form first?
No, thank you. Jasmine Vasquez? Are you Miss Vasquez? 2022 CF 1783. Ma'am, you were arrested because you failed to appear for a court date to address your petty theft with prior charges. That was back on April 28th. Do you need a public defender to help you with your case, or do you plan to hire your own attorney or represent yourself?
A public defender, but I was in custody this whole time since January.
I'm sorry, what about January?
I was in custody in Volusia County.
All right, the judge issued a warrant, so you failed to appear. Your public defender can file motions on your behalf. Thank you. And there is a hold for Volusia anyway. Timothy Wood. Good afternoon, Mr. Wood. You're here for some felony cases. I'm going to do the felony cases first, and then I'll tell you what the plea offer is on the misdemeanors. In case number 2020 CF 694, do you want a public defender if you don't have one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll appoint them. In case 2020 CF 6948AO, you missed your court date on January 13th for charges of battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting officer with violence shall be held at no bond. In case 2020 CF 6997AO, you missed your court date on the same date for battering a law enforcement officer. You'll be held at no bond. Mr. Woods, you also missed your court date in misdemeanor case number 2020 MM 1390AO for petty theft and resisting officer with violence. That was a violation of probation hearing. This is one that I talked to your attorney about. It looks like you have 19 days in. If you would like, I would give you a 35-day jail offer. If you admit to the violation, revoke and terminate. I believe you have over 20 days in. And the allegations are you tested positive for cocaine and you didn't pay your court costs. I'll give you a moment to talk to him about the misdemeanors.
Your Honor, I don't believe he's inclined to take that offer at this time, but he has assured me he's going to stay in contact with our office to resolve the case.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
He's not inclined to accept the offer at this time, but he's going to stay in contact with our office as to the failures to appear.
Okay, well, he'll be here, so he'll be easy. Just you'll know where he's at.
Right.
So in case 2020 MM 1390AO, I am going to stay those bonds. Your total bond is $10,000, $5,000 per count. So you're in on those charges too. And thank you. Then I finally have Travis Zipperer. Mr. Zipper, you're here for case number 2022 CF 10201AO for a charge of grand theft auto. You also have, do you want a public defender to help you with your case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go ahead and appoint them to represent you. Sir, you're also, you also missed your court date on some misdemeanor offenses for attached tag not assigned and driving with license suspended. I'm not sure if you're on probation or not, but if you would like to resolve those two cases, I could do a withhold credit time served. I'll give you a moment to speak with your attorney. And defense counsel and state, that's 22 CT 100 AA and 101 AA.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Corrections, we already did the meth and the cannabis charge yesterday, right?
I'm sorry?
What about the meth and the cannabis charge?
Yeah, he's already been seen on those.
Okay, thank you.
I don't believe he's inclined to take that offer at this time. We would just have you stay the bonds.
All right, we'll go ahead and stay those bonds. Thanks. State, is this Mr. Haynes? No. All right, we're going to take a 10-minute recess. All right, take a 10-minute recess so you